Now, another person who's a bit out of control is Rush Limbaugh. He saw what appears to me to be a very normal press conference between Barack Obama and Gordon Brown, of course, the Prime Minister of England and Great Britain. And he thought that their compliments to one another back and forth were out of control. And he had some choice words for Gordon Brown. Let's listen in.
Gordon Brown, I told you that, yesterday, this is Fox. No, take it back, it was PMSNBC. They were doing an advanced story on the G20.
That joke is so unfunny.
This was before they started running stories on the countdown to Air Force One's touchdown at Stansted in England. Air Force One to touchdown soon. Barack Obama to deplane soon. Prior to doing those reports, they actually were having a discussion, and they had the Chiron headline at the bottom of the screen, "Can Obama save the world economy?" Can Obama save the world economy? Here's Gordon Brown, finally got his joint press conference with Obama, and a portion of his opening remarks.
I want to thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your courage, which you've already shown in your presidency, and congratulate you on the dynamism, the energy, and indeed the achievements that you have been responsible for. Your first 70 days in office have changed America, and you've changed America's relationship with the world.
So here is a full-fledged, committed global socialist praising the President of the United States for all of his achievements in the first 70 days. A global socialist happy with the changes Obama has made. And you have changed America's relationship with the world, which is why all of the losers that make up the protesters are breaking bank windows. But the slobbering, this guy, folks, I'm telling you, if he keeps this up throughout the G20, Gordon Brown will come down with anal poisoning and may die from it.
I don't really know what anal poisoning is. Apparently Rush does. How would you get anal poisoning, Rush? Now, of course, Rush Limbaugh can't stand it when anyone slobbers over a president. And he would never be afflicted by that kind of anal poisoning. So let's listen to a really funny exchange on the Rush Limbaugh program where he described his little visit to President Bush.
But I have to tell you a funny little story. Roger Ailes and his wife Beth and their 8-year-old son Zach were also there, so we teamed up. We happened to get the same color-coded ticket to get in line for the presidential photo. So they're in line in front of us, and then we've got Catherine Rogers, the lovely and gracious, the most beautiful, with me, and we're standing behind them, and then there's all kinds of other media people behind us in line, and as you know, Ailes walks up to the President and Mrs. Bush, and the President opens his arm, "Whoa, look who's here," and they start chatting and talking and so forth, and after a while I finally shouted. I say, "Hey, can we move this line on, please?" And Bush turned around and had a smile on his face and said, "Quiet, Limbaugh, Ailes and I are conspiring." So they posed for the picture, they took the picture, and Catherine and I got up there, and I introduced Catherine to President Bush. I said, Mr. President, this is Catherine Rogers, and he took a step back, his eyes got wide, he said, "No, the Catherine Rogers." It was the funniest thing. We posed for the picture.
No, it wasn't.
And we moved on and toward the door. But it was just it was great fun, and I'm very appreciative of the invitation.
I guess that would be anal poisoning that he's talking about. And then we took a picture and we kidded around with the president. God, I love the president. And then I climbed into his ass, and then I climbed out of his ass, and then I got the anal poisoning. Listen, Limbaugh, you schmuck. Look, we made fun of you when you were gushing over the worst president in the United States history, right? Because you were so giddy that you had an audience with him. But overall, even back then, what we say, look, we get it, man. If a president shows you some attention or you're in the room with a president, you're respectful, right? And sometimes you're giddy like I was with Ben Roethlisberger, right? But this The Gordon Brown press conference with Obama was the most normal press conference I've ever seen in my life, where they're respectful and they say, oh, thank you for coming and we appreciate it and we're looking forward to your plans. In fact, they used to say that to Bush when Bush didn't deserve 1% of it. And then what does he describe Gordon Brown as? A global socialist. Is anyone not a global socialist? Is there anyone Rush Limbaugh knows other than himself and Newt Gingrich? I don't know who. Everybody's a socialist now. If you believe that the government should have any role in the government, you're now immediately a socialist. And look, in Europe, they have a little healthier and stronger view of what the government should do. And that is a legitimate debate as to how much government we should have. It's one thing to have that debate. It's another thing to say that anyone who disagrees with you is a socialist. And, of course, the implication is communist, except no one gives a damn anymore. Okay? This isn't the 1950s where you know, and the Republicans haven't caught on to that because they're still living in the 1950s where they're like, oh, yeah? You're commie. Nobody cares anymore, man. There are no commies. We're trying to have a legitimate discussion about how much government we should have, how much regulation we should have, and this buffoon is talking about anal poisoning in the court. All right. And the thing that drives me crazy about Limbaugh is when people say he's funny. He is so not funny. I listen to him and I think, like, where's the frickin' joke? And then he says, all right, Limbaugh, move it along. Where was the joke? And he says these things that he thinks is so clever, and I guess his dummy audience thinks is, oh, PMSNBC. But why? What's the relation? PMS? But how's that related to MSNBC? I don't get it. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? When I was a kid, sometimes I go to Rotary meetings with my dad. And it was full of old white folks, and I love you folks, don't get me wrong. A lot of old white folks in our audience. But they would say things that were entirely unfunny, and they would laugh and laugh. Like they'd tell like the corniest joke you ever heard. The guy who sells the Encyclopedia Britannica back in the day, right? And everybody would be like, oh, Joe, he's a jokester. Except this guy they put on the radio and think he's like the biggest entertainer in the world. I'm mystified by it.